Hi, my name is Stefan Bachman and this is my demo engine. So in this video I'm going to be going over object and connection creation and editing. So first off, object creation. So here you can see 5 different shapes and a custom icon, a custom object icon. So the custom object icon can be used to create any object from a file. So here, for example, is a thruster object. I'm going to run it. And you can see it has a particle system component as well as a force component which propels it, and it looks like it behaves pretty nicely. Now, there's 2 checkboxes here. So the first one, grid alignment. Without grid alignment, I can create objects anywhere I want. There's really no restriction. With grid alignment, it forces the objects to align to a grid. So you can get really precise shapes like that. The second one is orientation alignment. So what that does is it aligns the object that you're placing to the normal of the object that you're placing it on, right? Without it, it doesn't do that. So there's no object, or there's no orientation changing. Alright, so now I want to show off some of the other custom objects. So first off, the terrain. So the terrain is created in Max and then exported as FBX and converted to a binary format using a program that an instructor wrote for student use. This makes it really easy for me to load it in. And then I have a graphics mesh as well as a physics mesh. So this works like any other colliding object. Start that. Create a bunch of cubes. They all pool down at the bottom, right? And I can edit the size and scale of this object as well. So I can, make it twice as big, twice as wide, deep, right? And then I can rotate it. I can do anything I want. The next object is the teapot. Now the teapot is a convex mesh. I run the quick-hole algorithm on convex meshes to get physics data that is convex. Because it's convex, I can get the mass information, and then I can actually rotate it and move it as part of, as a physically simulated object, unlike the concave mesh that is the terrain. Alright, so next I want to show off some of the connections. I'm going to make some objects to connect. Should be enough. And here they are. So first off is the rope. Now the rope connects 2 objects, and you can move. I should start it. You can move them closer, and it doesn't do anything. And you move it further away, and then they pull on each other. Right? Now you might want a physically simulated rope like this one. It doesn't collide or anything like that. If you want that, what you need to do is connect a lot of objects together. And typically you wouldn't do it with objects this big. You do it with really small objects, really small connections. But here you can see an example, right? It's like this big chain of objects. And just imagine if they were a lot smaller. And it's really efficient to use ropes. They do not slow down your game at all. So it's not a big deal. Next off is the rod. Now the rod connects 2 things, just like a rope, except you can't move them closer, right? Just think of like a steel bar between them. And then there's the spring. So the spring, you can see it just has this gradual force, pushes in either direction, and you can change the force constant of it too, to whatever you want. And lastly, there's the weld connection. Now the weld connection allows me to weld any 2 objects together and then get one giant object from them. Something like this. So you can see they all rotate around the new center of mass, but they all keep their original collision data. So this is really useful for building objects. Alright, so now I'm gonna show off how they all work together, I guess. So I'm gonna make a thruster at the middle, and then on top of that put a teapot, and then I am going to weld them together. I'm gonna turn off collision information or colliders and run it. You can see it's a little front heavy, so it's going to tip off in that direction, but that's not a big deal. Alright, next thing I want to show off is building a swing. So here you have the swing, here's the seat. So you want it to look like an actual seat, so you can change the scale of it, make it more seat-like, raise it up a little bit. Now you need ropes. Now there's 2 ways to make ropes attached to objects in midair. You can either create a rigid body up there that doesn't have any collision information and just attach it to that, or you can attach it to like the ground and then just move the position of the rope. Either way is fine. It's easier for me to do it this way, so that's what I'll do. So I attach them to the ground, and then I'm just going to change the position of the ropes. So this is the first one. I just changed it from being on the ground to being up there. But it's still connected to the ground. It's just connected on a location that doesn't exist on the ground. But that's totally fine with constraints. And then I can connect the other two. Yeah, just one more. Okay. I'm going to run it, and there's the swing. So you can pull it back, push it forward, really just treat it like any other swing. So I can add more things to this though, make it more fun. So I'm going to go ahead and add some thrusters. So edit it, I can change the rotation of it, and then just weld it to this, the seat of the swing. It's just really easy to do stuff like this with this user interface. There we go, and I can run it. Bam! You have a rocket swing. Now it doesn't go up all the way, but if you give it a little push and you do it just right, you can get it to go around. And now that it's gone around once, it'll keep going around forever because it just keeps all of its momentum, or most of it, and it keeps adding work or energy. The thrusters do. Now I can stop this and add some stuff for it to blow up. There's no reason not to. That's why I make physics stuff, just to destroy it. And there you go. Alright, so there's one more thing I want to show off, and that is the most obvious thing you would build with this technology. You should be able to figure it out relatively fast. There we go. Now I need to weld everything together and make this an awesome spaceship. And if you forget to weld something, it's gonna turn out very poorly. I've done that quite a bit, but I think I'm good. So I'm gonna launch it, and a spaceship, and that is just awesome. So that's everything for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and thanks for watching.